I'm excited about this lesson. One of my favorite things to do on the weekend is to go and do one of the things that is going to be on this list. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. I am Bob the Canadian. Oh, I got my volume up here. I am Bob the Canadian, and you are watching an English lesson about entertainment. Let me just check to make sure everything is working. Looks like everything is working really well. I'm just going to turn this a little bit this way, and we should be good. So, entertainment. This is part one, by the way. As I was making this lesson, I realized that this is quite a big topic. So we're going to cover it over the next. I'm having trouble talking this morning. We're going to cover it today, and we're going to look at part two next week, and we should be done the topic of entertainment. Please remember that if you have questions, Todd will be posting a link in the chat over there. Please use that form to ask your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. But once again, welcome to this lesson on entertainment. I see that we are quickly growing in viewers. We're almost at 200, so let's get started. Probably the biggest form of entertainment in Canada and around the world is TV or television. So TV is the short form, and that is what we use the most in English. I usually watch TV. We don't often say television, although you will hear it and you will read the word television. And television has kind of grown beyond just sitting in front of a screen watching what we would call over-the-air television, where you need an antenna on your TV. Most people use their televisions to stream videos as well as watch television. So we have a television at home in our living room. Mostly we use that television to watch movies and not TV shows, surprisingly. And we also use the TV to watch sports. But that gets us into an interesting discussion about how we refer to the things that we watch on TV. So you could say that you watch a TV show. You could say that you watch a TV series. In that sense, they mean the same thing. So this TV show is called Friends. I actually recommended it as a good television show. Oh, I just used television, didn't I? A good television show to watch if you are learning English. But I could also say it's a great TV series to watch. So you could call this a TV show, or you could call it a TV series. And you're referring to, show 1 all the way up to show 700. But interestingly enough, you can also use the word TV show to refer to one episode of that show. So I could say, oh, I watched a good TV show last night. But show or series. You also have episodes and seasons. So a season is a collection of TV episodes. So often a TV show or a TV series will have a number of seasons. So every year there will be a new season. So when you see, join us for season 3 of Survivor, it means that the year before was season 2 and the year before that was season 1. Inside of the season, you will have episodes. So you will have season 2, episode 3 of The Office is perhaps a good episode. So it is the numerical type system to how you would refer to a TV show or a TV series. So you would have episodes and you would have seasons. Let me take a sip of my coffee here. I went out this morning and got a nice cup of decaf coffee from Tim Hortons. I hope someday they actually sponsor me. I think I've mentioned Tim Hortons in 4 of my videos now. That is a tasty cup of coffee. Hey, I'll do one more and then I'll take some questions. The other thing that we do for entertainment is we watch movies or we watch films. We use both words to refer to them. So I could say, oh, I watched a good film last night. I could also say, oh, I watched a really good movie last night. Or have you seen the latest Avengers movie? Or did you catch the latest Spider-Man film? I think we use movie a little bit more than we do film, but both words are completely interchangeable in English. You can go to a movie festival and watch a whole bunch of movies, or you can go to a film festival and watch a whole bunch of films. So same word, movie, film. And I'm going to jump over to the questions. First one is from Ajni. Oh, hello Ajni, how are you? Good to see you again. It says, do you call it a movie, a film, or a picture in Canada? We use all three words in India, but film might be more common. So that's a great question. It ties into what I just said. Old people in Canada might say that they're going to go to the pictures, but we don't use that word as much in Canada. You can use it. You know, the latest picture from, you know, Paramount Studios is this, but generally we use the word movie or we use the word film. Those would be the two most common. Let's see here. Dimitro says, oh, this is a great question. Dimitro from the Ukraine says, hi Bob, is your TV smart or dumb? Our TV is kind of in between. So if you're not aware, many years ago, TVs were just TVs. You could tune it to a certain channel and that's all it did. But now TVs are actually smart TVs. So our TV has some built-in features that are really handy, but it's not a new TV. The new smart TVs have Netflix built in, they have YouTube built in, they have Wi-Fi built in, so you can use your TV almost like a mini computer. So no, I would say our TV is a little bit smart. It's a little bit old. Lolly, I'm gonna skip your question because it's not a very common word, the word hootenanny. I think you would have to look that one up. So Jesse, the Canadian, says, hi Bob, the Canadian. Hi Jesse, the Canadian. How are you? I'm good, how are you? I am really happy to see you again. My question is, how often do you go to the cinema? Well, not as often as I used to. So I probably go to the theater or cinema about 3 or 4 times a year, and I usually take my kids to see a movie. A long time ago, when I was younger and I didn't have children, I probably went to the movie theater once a month. I really, really liked going to watch movies. So great question there, Jesse. Let's see here. Honlei says, this is not related exactly to the topic, but I often, when I learn vocabulary in English, I often forget it. Can you tell me the way to remember vocabulary? Repetition is the best way, Honlei. The best way to remember is to use it in a sentence and then to write it out a lot of times. It's not fun to do it that way, but that is a great way to do it. Hey, I mentioned when you go to see a movie or film, I said theater. This is how we spell it in Canada, R-E. We don't say théâtre, which would be French. We say theater. In America, they spell it this way. Notice the E and R are switched. And we also call it the cinema. So here's a ticket for the cinema. So in English, it's very common for people to use theater or cinema. So let's say, oh, I'm going to the theater. We're going to go to the theater in St. Catharines tonight, and we're going to see the latest Star Wars movie. There's no Star Wars movie out right now, but you could say, oh, we're going to the cinema. Did you go to the cinema last night? Yeah, we saw a really good film at the cinema last night. So this is the name for the building, the place where you go to see a movie, okay? I think we often say movie theater. I think we actually say movie theater the most often. I should have put that on the sheet. Oh, I went to the movie theater. Did you see the movie in the theater or did you watch it at home? So those would be common questions. That leads into my next one here. A lot of people have home theaters. So a home theater is when you buy a really big TV and you buy really good speakers and you have, basically you watch you watch the film or the movie in your home. For you, if you are watching English movies or English films, a home theater is a better option for you. Because if you were watching an English film or an English movie in the theater, you can't pause the movie to look up a new word, and you can't rewind. You can't make the movie go backwards if you're in a real theater. But if you're using a home theater, if you're watching an English movie at home, you can pause the movie and you can quickly look a word up that you don't recognize. You can turn on subtitles if you watch it with your home theater, and you can rewind a little bit if you didn't quite understand a part of it. So anyways, home theater is something that many people have so that they can watch a movie at home. Hey, I'm gonna pause and just say hello to everyone who's watching, 420 people. I'm Bob the Canadian. You are watching an English lesson about entertainment. If you have questions, Todd will post a link over there in the chat, and I'm going to answer a few of them in a moment. If you are new here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button there. And all of you, if you give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. Let's look at the next question. Henry from Taiwan has the next question. Hi Bob, what genre, so that's what type, what genre of TV shows or movies does Teacher Bob like? Thank you. So my favorite kind of TV show is any kind of British drama. I really like British television. I like French television from France. And I like television shows from Belgium. So I am bilingual, so I watch English TV as well as French TV. And I really like shows from those countries. I actually don't watch a lot of shows from the United States, and I don't watch a lot of Canadian television. That's bad. Don't tell the other Canadians that I don't watch Canadian TV. Let's see here. Manny says, hello Bob, how are you doing? I couldn't understand all the dialogue in the film. Could you please make some suggestions for me? So 2 suggestions. 1, watch the movie or film on your computer where you can control a couple of things. You can, on a computer, usually use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move the movie backwards. So if you watch and you don't understand, you can quickly rewind. You can move I would also say, turn on the subtitles. Maybe watch it once with the subtitles on, watch it again with them off. And I would recommend, if you watch a movie on a computer, slowing it down just a little bit. Play it back at 95% or 90% speed. Yes, this is live TV. Welcome to the live stream. We're 100% live. I am in my classroom and I'm here for about 45 minutes doing a live lesson on entertainment. So we are live right now. So that's a great question, by the way. I like that question. Stanislav says, hi from the Ukraine, Bob. Hello. Which movie is the best for learning? That's a tricky one. I usually recommend the best movies to watch are movies you are interested in. Sometimes the movie that is best for learning English might be boring to you. So I think the best movies to watch are, if you like action movies, watch a lot of action movies. If you like romance or love stories, watch a lot of those. If you are serious though about learning English, you should watch movies that take place in real life as much as possible. Watching a movie about the future might not help you as much. Watching a historical movie might not help you as much, but watching a movie about our current day and time, something that takes place fairly recently, is probably the best thing to watch. One more question and we'll get back to it. Jesse the Canadian says, what is the best movie you have ever seen? I really like all of the Lord of the Rings movies. I like all of the Star Wars movies, and it would be hard to choose one of them. So hey, when you go to a theater, before the movie starts, they show you little trailers. They show you movie trailers for other movies that are coming out soon. So if you go to a cinema or you go to a theater, you will often have a few movie trailers that play before the movie comes out. I just saw a question go by, what do you think about subtitles? I think subtitles are good as long as you watch the video at least 2 times. I think watching a movie or TV show with subtitles on is great. But then I think you should watch that same TV show or movie again later with the subtitles off. That's what Bob the Canadian thinks. Hey, a blockbuster is a movie that is really, really popular. So you can see I have the Millennium Falcon up here. That is from the movie Star Wars. The Star Wars movies are usually blockbusters. Many people go to see a movie when it's a blockbuster. Basically, it's #1 for weeks on end. So it's the #1 movie. A blockbuster, I think the term comes from people lining up around the block to get into the movie. So yes, Ennis Tekken, this is live. You are watching a live lesson. So blockbusters are super popular movies. The Star Wars movies, the Lord of the Rings movies were all blockbusters. The Avengers movies are all blockbusters. Basically referring to a movie that is super popular. You can also go see a play. So moving on through entertainment, we talked about TV, we talked about movies, and now I'm going to talk a little bit about plays. In Canada, you can still go and see plays. So here we have the play Macbeth. I'm not going to tell you who wrote it because I'm going to talk about the word playwright in a bit. But a play is a live performance where there are actors on the stage who are presenting a play. Someone's asking, are you a teacher? Yeah, I'm a teacher. This is my room. This is my classroom where I teach every day. There won't be students here today, though. There's no school today, but I actually have to go to a teachers' convention. Some of you last year might have remembered a year ago on this Friday, I had to do my live stream quickly because I had to leave for a convention. But a play is a live performance, a live presentation of a play on a stage that people can go and watch. A play is presented as well in a theater, but a different kind of theater. So here we have a theater. You can see that there is seating. You can see that there is a stage up front. People go to the theater to see a play. Often if people say, yeah, I was at the theater the other night, they're usually talking about a theater where they've seen a play. If they say movie theater, then they were at a theater with movies. And then I just wanted to hold this up. This is William Shakespeare. He is, or was, a playwright from hundreds of years ago. I think about 400 or 500 years ago. He was from England, and he wrote many plays that are still studied in English today. If you ever, as an English learner, have to read a William Shakespeare play, it will be very difficult for you because it's really difficult for us as native speakers. The English language has changed quite a bit over time. So let's see here. We're going to go on with some questions. Dimitro says, I live close to an amusement park and they play music very loudly. Do you have any laws in Canada that control noise levels or doesn't allow such parks close to living neighborhoods? We have noise laws, but generally if there is an amusement park and there is housing there, they are exempt from that law. And you just know when you buy a house there that it's going to be loud sometimes at night in the winter. In the summer. No one goes to the amusement park in the winter. So yeah, it's tricky, eh? Noise. Let's see here. Emin says, I saw on, in, at a TV program. Which one is useful or correct? So people star in a TV show. People can be on a TV show. Notice a little bit of a difference there, but we wouldn't use at. Okay, so you could say, oh, my brother-in-law is a famous actor. He's in a lot of TV shows. You could say, my brother-in-law is a famous actor. He's on a lot of TV shows, but we wouldn't use at, no. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good question. What is the difference? What is the difference between sitcom and cinema? So cinema is film. So generally a film at the cinema is about an hour and a half long. And it has many different genres. So there's drama, there's romantic movies, there's action movies. But a sitcom is a television show that's usually 30 minutes long, and it is a situational comedy. Sitcom is actually a short form for situational comedy. So it's meant to be a funny show. Usually they take place in someone's home, but a sitcom is a short TV show, usually quite funny. Let's see here. I'm going to only answer questions that that relate to, well, I'll do this one, but I'm only going to do questions that relate to the topic. Fernando says, hi, Bob, I have a question. Do you plant just flowers or fruits as well? It's very beautiful, your flower beds. We only grow flowers. We don't even grow vegetables. Isn't that crazy? Gaga has a question here. Gaga says, what leisure activities do you usually do in your free time? I think of all the things I'm talking about today, I am most likely to watch television or watch films, okay, or movies. I don't often go to see a play because it can be quite expensive to see a play. Let's see here. Yvonne says, have you been joked sometimes about your new role of being a public figure in this new flexible entertainment industry of YouTube stuff? No, I haven't been pranked or anything like that. Mostly what I find cool about it is people are familiar with me around the world, but locally not very many people know that I have a YouTube channel because no one in this part of Canada is learning English, so they haven't found me. I do have some students though that know that I have a YouTube channel, and generally they're pretty positive. They're pretty proud of the fact that their teacher is doing really well on YouTube. So no pranks or no silliness yet. Fabio. So Fabio is going to talk about another form of entertainment that I'm not talking about today. But hi, Bob, you're a great teacher. Thank you. What kind of sport do you like to watch or follow? Do you watch football or hockey? So I watch NASCAR. Do you know what NASCAR is? It's car racing from the United States. So I like to watch a car race every week. I'll put the word NASCAR equals car racing. That is my favorite sport. Some people don't think it's a sport though. Okay, let me do one more question and then we will move on with the lesson. I am Chudakad says, Bob, can we break grammar rules sometimes? So here's what I'm going to say. You can't break grammar rules until you know English well enough to break them, okay? English speakers break grammar rules quite a bit, actually. Even during my live lessons, I break some of the grammar rules. But I think for an English learner, the best thing to do is to learn English properly, learn grammar properly, and then once you have a really good understanding of English, once you are very, very fluent, you can start to break some of the grammar rules that you recognize other English speakers breaking. So, the tricky one though. Let's see. TV show and series says, that's a great YouTube name. What's a TV show or a series, and how about a movie or film? So again, a TV show or series is a collection of episodes of that show. I think my coffee's getting cold. No, it's just right. And a movie or film are the same thing. Next question. Michael San Jose says, good morning, Bob. Good morning, Michael. Are you familiar with the classic British sitcom, Mind Your Language? Do you recommend it? I'm not familiar with that, but I will see if I can watch an episode tonight to see what it is like. I don't know why I'm losing my voice again, people. It just seems silly because I literally talk all day. That's my job. So it seems kind of funny. Let's see here. Suppose, Jesse says, Jesse the Canadian, suppose I am going to watch a movie with my colleagues or friends. Is there any phrasal verb for this? Well, you go out to see a movie. That would be, you would say, oh, you want to go out and see a movie tonight? It's not a phrasal verb, but you would also say, do you want to watch a movie tonight? Do you want to catch a movie tonight? Hey, do you want to catch a movie tonight? So not all phrasal verbs, but that's how you would say or ask your colleagues, hey, anybody interested in catching a movie tonight? We could go down to the movie theater and catch a movie. So that's probably a little slangy even, but those would be ways that you could ask that. Let's see here. Question about me, and then we'll move on. Kirill from Moscow, what's your main education? So I teach French primarily. So my training is in teaching languages, and the language I teach is French. The reason I teach English on YouTube instead of French, though, is because I am a native English speaker, but I am not a native French speaker. So when I speak French, I have a little bit of an accent, and logic here is this, that if you're going to learn a language, it's okay to learn it. I was just trying to kill a fly, sorry. It's okay to learn it from a non-native speaker, but if I'm going to do YouTube videos, I thought as a native English speaker, I should take all of my training to teach the French language and just do it in English. So that's my training. Hey, so we talked about plays. A play is done on a stage. The stage has curtains. Here you can see the audience. Those are the people who watch the play. And you can see here the play is a raised area where the performance happens. If you look on the stage of a play, you will see the set. So the set is what they construct as the background for the play. So here you see a stage, and you see here they have constructed a set. So they didn't build real buildings, they just built the front of the buildings. And this is the set for the play. So the stage is the area it is on. The set is the things that they construct that the actors can perform around. We have two words in English. We generally just use the word actor now, but we also have the word actress. But actor is actually gender neutral. So you can say that a certain person, whether they're a guy or girl, is an actor. It's totally acceptable in English. We used to separate, so men were actors and women were actresses. We still use this term, but there's nothing wrong with saying, that a certain woman is an actor. Okay, totally fine to say that. But they are, of course, the person who performs in a play or in a movie. So actor is pretty universal, or a TV show. You can say that you're an actor on a TV show or in a TV show. Sorry that we use both words there. If you talk about all of the actors, you would call them the cast. So the cast is all of the people who act in a play, a stage play. So here you see the cast of a play on the stage. I think it's probably the end of a performance, and they're all kind of waving to the audience. So this would be the cast of the play. If the play has lots of singing in it, it's called a musical. So it's still technically a play, but we would also call it a musical. Often people go to Toronto to see a musical. There's a variety of musicals that are playing in Toronto right now. So you might go to a big city like Toronto to see a play, or you might go to see a musical. Generally, musicals are very, very enjoyable. I can't remember the last musical that I saw though, but a musical has elements of a play where they're acting and talking, and then every once in a while they break into song. That's how you would describe it, or they start singing a musical piece to it. So Les Miserables is a really good musical. That's a great play to see, lots of singing, etc. And then of course, if you are a singer in a play or a musical, we call you a singer, not an actor. So you would say, oh, the singers were amazing in the musical that I saw last night. Let's do a couple more questions. Let me see here. Dilshad says, this is a good question. Dilshad says, what kind of movies do you watch with your family on the weekdays? So we generally don't watch movies on the weekdays. Generally, we watch movies on the weekends. And usually my kids watch a movie, and I don't usually watch the movie with them. But I'll tell you why. I'm not a mean dad. It's because they tend to watch movies that I have already seen. So sometimes I will sit with my kids and watch a movie. Just recently, they watched all of the Star Wars movies that we have on DVD. They've watched all of the Harry Potter movies, etc. And I have seen most of those movies more than once, but that is usually the kind of movie that my kids are watching. For myself and Jen, we usually just go to the movie theater a couple times a year, and we'll see one of the most recent popular movies when we go to the theater. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm trying to find the next question. There's some questions that aren't on topic, so I'm going to skip some of them. Sorry, that's not very nice of me. I just want to make sure the questions are on the topic of entertainment. John from Vietnam says, is football popular entertainment sport in your nation? we'll talk about it next week actually, but I'm going to answer your question. What kind of entertainment or sport is popular in Canada? So we have football in Canada, but it is not soccer. Okay, the football in Canada, the Canadian Football League, is very similar to American style football. There are a number of rules that are different, and the field has different dimensions, but the kind of football that we watch in Canada is very similar to American football, to the NFL. We do have, though, actual soccer leagues in Canada. It's becoming more and more popular, so you can go and watch soccer. But the most popular sport by far in terms of entertainment in Canada is hockey. Hockey is probably the most watched sport in Canada. I would have to check that. Don't quote me on that as being a fact, but certainly there are a lot of hockey fans in Canada. There are a lot of kids that play hockey, and there is a lot of professional hockey to watch in Canada. The closest team to me is actually the Buffalo Sabres, which are an American hockey team, but I am a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs because Toronto is the closest Canadian city to me, and that is the hockey. If I watch hockey, I don't actually watch a lot of hockey. Sometimes during playoffs, if Toronto is in, if the Toronto Maple Leafs make the playoffs, I do watch some hockey, but I'm not a big hockey watcher. Let's see here. Lolly says, Bob, do you like Downton Abbey? It's my favorite TV series. So Downton Abbey is a TV series from a couple of years ago from the UK, from the United Kingdom. And it takes place couple hundred years ago, or about 150 years ago, if I'm correct, somewhere in that range. And it tells the story of a really wealthy family and all of their servants that live in the same house. And I watched every single episode, Lolly, and Jen and I are planning to go see the new Downton Abbey movie, probably in a couple of weeks when our life is a little bit more relaxed. So it's both a TV series that you can watch and also a movie. So Lolly, yes, I have watched it. I was sad when, I shouldn't give away spoilers, should I? I was sad at a couple parts because sometimes people die. Dilshad says, can you tell us a little bit about soap operas? So soap operas are dramatic television shows that are on in the afternoon. I think General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, they all have these really unique names, but they are shows that are on usually between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And sometimes people who are home and not working will watch a soap opera. And the storylines continue day to day. So they're quite interesting for some people. I'm not a big fan of them. Hey, you might go to the ballet if you want some entertainment. I think most of you will recognize what ballet is. This person is a ballerina, but we would also just simply call anyone who does ballet a dancer, okay? So you could say this is a ballerina, but you could also say she is doing ballet, or you could say that she is a dancer. And the ballet is still a fairly popular thing to do. You do have to go to probably a much bigger city than a small city close to you, because usually only really large cities will have the ballet. But this is something that many people enjoy doing to go see. Another thing you might do for entertainment is you might go to a concert. This is probably one of the most popular live events that people go to. So if you think about it, a play, the ballet, a concert, they're all live events where you sit in the audience and there is a live performance. People in North America go to a lot of concerts, okay? There's a lot of outdoor concerts in the summer, and they go to hear one of their favorite bands or one of their favorite groups or one of their favorite singers. I'm just gonna hold that there for a sec. So this is something that Jen and I did a little bit when we were younger, but we will probably do more of once our kids are older and we can get out with just the two of us, because it is super fun to go see one of your favorite bands or groups or singers. I really wanna see Ed Sheeran at some point. Do you guys know who Ed Sheeran is? I would love to take Jen to an Ed Sheeran concert. I think that would be super, super fun. You might also go see the orchestra or the symphony. This is more where they play classical music instead of rock music or folk music or country music. So at the orchestra, they will have things like violins and other traditional instruments. And an orchestra plays at a concert hall. So that is the place where you would go to see an orchestra, is at a concert hall. And that's where the orchestra would be on stage and you would sit in the audience and listen to some really nice music from them. And they are, of course, conducted by a conductor. So this man is conducting the orchestra. So he would be up front. I'm not a conductor, but he would be conducting the orchestra. So we call this person a conductor. I'm going to jump over and do a few more questions. I just want to, before I do, say welcome to everyone here. We are about midway through a lesson on entertainment, and thank you for watching, all 500 and something of you. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and thumbs up are always cool as well. Dimitro says, my mom asks, oh, say hi to your mom for me. It's cool. My mom asks if you like the ITV drama Midsummer Murders. Also, she advises Murdoch Mysteries, which is the Canadian TV series set in Toronto. I am familiar with Murdoch Mysteries. I have watched 1 or 2 episodes of Murdoch Mysteries on CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation's channel. I have not watched the Midsummer Murders, though, so I should look into that because it sounds like that might be something that I would enjoy. So thank you for that suggestion. I'm currently watching a show called The Dublin Murders, which is an English-Irish television show. It's really good. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good question. So Elizu says, are there any problems between learning American English and Canadian English for other countries? There are movies and videos that I use to study from different countries. So here's what I would say. There's Australian English, there's English from the UK, there's Irish English, and there's Canadian and American English. Canadian and American English are very, very similar. As I've mentioned before, I went to university in the United States. People thought my accent was very subtle and kind of cute, but there is no problem with watching a Canadian TV series versus an American TV series. I would recommend you watch both. Canadian movies versus American movies, watch both. You're not doing any harm by learning Canadian and American English at the same time. In fact, just yesterday I was at a teachers convention and I was talking to people from Canada and people from the United States, and we have no problem understanding each other. And our speaker was actually from the UK, and we had no problem understanding him either. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Let's see here. Q Mike says, hi Bob, can you tell me the difference between the words drama and playwright? Thanks a lot. So a playwright is the person who writes the play, and drama is kind of the overall name for the acting world, okay? So you study drama. We also say drama, by the way. I'm not sure which pronunciation you have learned, but at our school we teach drama classes. We also teach drama classes, so it has 2 pronunciations. Sorry about that. But drama is the overarching name for the acting world. Let's see here. Oh, Polly has a good question here. Polly says, hi Teacher Bob, hi Polly. From Hong Kong. I hope things are going well for you over there in Hong Kong. I understand it is a little bit tough in Hong Kong right now. How much in general is a movie ticket in Canada? And movie tickets in Hong Kong are pretty high. Yeah, tickets are pretty high in Canada. I think it's about $10 to $15 to see a movie. And then people buy popcorn and drinks as well, right? So it's can be quite expensive. Let's see here. Maria from Russia says, I want to ask about Quest Room. Do you ever play in this entertainment, or maybe your friends? I think you're talking about an escape room. So an escape room is a place where you go and you pay money, and then you have to figure out puzzles to get out of the room. And it's very, very popular in Canada right now. I have not done it. Both my older 2 kids have done escape rooms. I think they've done them. So let's see here. So Fabiana, this is a good one. Is it a common expression, couch potato? So a couch potato is someone who sits on their couch a lot and watches a lot of television. So yes, it is a very common expression in English. A lot of people will say, I was just a couch potato all weekend. I just watched Netflix endlessly. So yes, definitely a common expression. Saeed from Somalia. How do your kids spend their free time? So we want them to play outside a lot. They would like to be on screens a lot. So we try to encourage them to do both. So we like it when our kids play outside. We don't mind if they are on a device like a phone or something like that, but we like balance. So it's a little bit of a battle sometimes, but we like to encourage our kids to play outside, and we also encourage them to use technology wisely. That's what we do with our kids. Let's see here. Hello, Bob. This is Almez. Hello, Bob and Todd. Hello. Are you often go to the theater and other entertainments with your wife? Today I'm going to go to the disco. So Jen and I have not gone out dancing very often. Usually the only time we go dancing is if we're at a wedding. It's very popular in Canada. After a wedding, people have a wedding reception. And then at the reception, you have a meal, and then there's a dance. So we haven't gone out to a disco or a discotheque to go dancing. Often if Jen and I go out, we go out to entertain ourselves by having a nice meal. And a lot of times we'll go and see a movie. Sometimes we go shopping to entertain ourselves, which isn't really entertainment, but it's lots of fun anyways. Let's see here. The next one is, how do you see in Canada the Spanish entertainment name Corridas de Toros, the bull, and Torero, the sword? Are there any kind of yeah, I don't know. We don't have shows like that. I'm going to avoid that one because I'm not quite sure what it's about. I should have read the question fully, but we don't have shows in Canada with bullfighting in it, for instance. But we do have the Calgary Stampede, where there is bull riding. So hopefully that answers your question. John says, let's see here. Bob, have you ever heard about slow TV? So I know slow TV, sometimes they'll put a camera on a train or a boat, and they'll just show hours of footage live sometimes of the boat or the train going. So yes, I've seen a little bit like that. Miguel says, do you recommend us to see the series like House? So House is a TV show about an American doctor. It's played by Hugh Laurie, I think, and it's a good show, but House talks very directly and sometimes very rudely. So I would not recommend that you learn to talk like House, okay? That would be a bad idea. Hey, when you go out to see the orchestra, you are seeing a performance. When you see a play or a concert, at the end, there will be applause. The people will applaud. This is the verb, right? This person is applauding. And the actual action of the whole audience doing it is called applause. So there was a lot of applause at the end of the concert or the end of the show. If you're really good, people stand up while they're doing it, and we call that a standing ovation. So a standing ovation happens when you do a really good job as a performer, and the audience at the end stands up and claps their hands, and we would call that a standing ovation. And that's the kind of applause you want to get if you are a live performer. Let's see here. Victor has a question. Hello, Bob. How about cartoons? There's a grammar question. Why Bob the Canadian or Lucy the dog, but Peppa Pig? I mean, why with or without the? It's kind of an artistic choice, okay? When I say Bob the Canadian, it's kind of a funny way to refer to myself. But you do use this in English. Like if I knew a guy named Doug from Canada, and if I knew a guy named Doug from America, I would say, are you talking about Doug the Canadian or Doug the American? So it is regular. Why do we say Peppa Pig? That's just a little play on words. They're pretending that Peppa's last name is Pig. So Peppa Pig, her first name is Peppa. Technically, her last name is Pig. So I think that's why they do it. I'm going to answer 3 more questions really fast. Jana from the Czech says, what kind of music do you listen to? Almost exclusively rock or classic rock. Amar Saeed says, how to improve pronunciation? You need to talk a lot. You need to record yourself and listen to yourself. And generally, you need to find an English speaker to help you. It's one of the most difficult things to do. Anyways, that is the lesson on entertainment, part 1. Please come back next week. I'm going to do part 2. I'll probably talk about sports and a couple of other things that you can do for entertainment. Maybe even talk about dancing and those kinds of things. I'm Bob the Canadian. Don't forget to click that red subscribe button if you are new here. There will be a live question and answer lesson tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live lesson tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for watching this. Don't forget to come back tomorrow and watch this lesson again with the subtitles on if you need it. If there were parts of this lesson that you didn't quite understand, please do come back and watch those sections again with the subtitles on. It's really good for training your ear. But overall, thank you to all 560 of you for watching. I hope that you were able to learn just a little bit more English. And yes, again, don't forget, there will be a live lesson from the farm. You won't be able to see much though, because it'll be dark already at 7, but we'll do a live question and answer session from the farm. If you have questions about the English language, please do come and watch it. And just the last plug, if you didn't watch my video from this past Tuesday, you should. A lot of people watched it. A lot of people liked it. So thanks again for watching. I'm going to push this button